Nobody hands you a better life. You have to build it yourself, one decision at a time. People talk about 21 days to change a habit, but here is what most people never discover. 7 focused days, just 1 week of real commitment, can shift the entire direction of your life. Most people are trapped. They wake up exhausted. They chase noise. They make promises to themselves and quietly break them. They wait for something outside themselves to come and rescue them. I know that feeling. I lived inside it for longer than I want to admit. I was not lazy. I was lost. I wanted change desperately, but had no idea where to put my foot first. Then I stopped waiting and started moving, not with a massive life overhaul, not with some dramatic decision. I chose 5 habits, 5 small, simple shifts, and I committed to them for 1 week. That 1 week rewired something deep inside me. It gave me back my energy. It gave me back my clarity. And more than anything, it gave me back my belief that I was capable of more. This is not a story about being perfect. It is a story about being consistent, about momentum, about the kind of daily discipline that does not just change what you do. It changes who you are. If you have been feeling stuck, if you are ready to take real control of your days, then stay with me. Because right now, I'm going to walk you through the 5 habits that flipped my life in 7 days. Let's begin. Habit 1, choose one thing and go all in. The most common mistake people make when they decide to change their life is trying to change everything simultaneously. You get fired up, you feel the energy, and suddenly you want to fix your sleep, your body, your money, your mindset, your relationships, all at once. It feels exciting in the beginning, but within days, the weight of it all crushes you, and you quit everything. Here is the truth most people are not ready to hear. Real, lasting transformation does not come from massive change all at once. It comes from picking one thing, just one, and holding on to it until it becomes a part of your identity. When I decided I was done living on autopilot, I did not rebuild my entire life overnight. I chose one habit, one single commitment. I told myself that if I could honor this one thing for 7 days, I would prove something important to myself. I would prove that I was someone who followed through. Think about James Clear, the man behind Atomic Habits. Before the bestseller lists and speaking stages, he was simply a person who sat down every day and wrote 1 page. Not a chapter, not a book, 1 page. That tiny act of showing up without fail turned him into one of the most trusted voices in personal growth. Because he understood what most people miss. You do not build discipline through intensity. You build it through repetition. 1 decision at a time, 1 day at a time. Extreme change does not last. Sustainable change does. And sustainable change starts so small that your brain has no reason to resist it. 1 push-up, 1 paragraph, 1 glass of water. The goal was to make the bar so low that failure becomes almost impossible. Then you do it again tomorrow, and the day after. Something begins to shift when you build a streak. 2 days becomes 5, 5 becomes 10. And with each passing day, your identity quietly changes. You stop saying, I'm trying to get better. You start saying, this is who I am now. Here is how to apply it today. Do not write a list of 10 habits. Do not download a new app or create a complicated system. Pick 1 habit, make it specific. Make it small enough to be undeniable. If you want to read more, commit to 10 pages a day. If you want to move your body, commit to 5 minutes of exercise. If you want better mornings, wake up 15 minutes earlier than you do right now. Do not aim to change your whole world this week. Aim to win 7 days. There is something quietly powerful that happens when you honor your own word to yourself. When you say you will do something, and you actually do it even when no one is watching, you begin building something priceless. You build self-trust. And when you trust yourself, you no longer need external validation or outside motivation to keep going. You become the kind of person who shows up because that is simply what you do. Your first real habit is not waking up early. It is not exercise or reading. Your first real habit is learning to show up for yourself. Once you master that, everything else begins to fall into place. Because a person who keeps their word to themselves is unstoppable. Habit 2, small actions, done daily. Change everything. There is a dangerous myth that floats around the world of self-improvement. The idea that transformation happens in a single dramatic moment. A flash of insight, a sudden revelation that rewires your whole life in an instant. And while those moments exist, they are rare. What is far more common and far more powerful is quiet daily effort. Small actions. Steady wins. That is the real engine behind lasting change. If you are chasing something meaningful, better habits, bigger goals, a stronger mindset, Do not sit around waiting for the perfect day or the right mood. Most people burn months and years waiting for motivation to arrive. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like weather. What you actually need is discipline. And discipline is not born in grand gestures. It is built in small, repeated actions, especially on the days when you feel nothing. Think about Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most successful comedians who ever lived. He did not build his career in one brilliant writing session. Every single day he sat down and wrote jokes. Then he marked a simple X on a wall calendar. His only rule was this: do not break the chain. One joke, one X, one day at a time. Over years, that chain became confidence. That confidence became mastery. That mastery became a legacy. This principle lives in every area of life. Want to rebuild your body? One workout will not do much, but one workout every day will transform you. Want to grow something of your own? One step every day builds momentum that compounds over months. Want deeper relationships? One honest conversation every evening creates connection that lasts years. The reason small, consistent actions work is because they slip past the part of your brain that panics at big challenges. They are manageable. They are doable. And the more you do them, the more natural they feel. You stop forcing yourself. You simply become the kind of person who does the thing. Most people do not fail from lack of effort. They fail from trying to do too much too fast and then collapsing under the weight of it. They confuse intensity with progress, but it is the quiet, overlooked daily actions that actually shape who you are. One day of effort barely moves the needle. 100 days of effort rewrites your entire story. Let's get real for a moment. Think of one area of your life that has been stuck. Maybe it is your finances. Maybe it is your energy. Maybe it is your confidence. Now ask yourself, what is one small action, so simple that you cannot talk yourself out of it, that would move that area forward? Not a 5-hour commitment, not a massive overhaul, just one small daily step. Then do it every single day. Track it, keep a record. Make it as automatic as washing your face in the morning. And do not let its simplicity fool you. Small actions accumulate like interest in a bank account. They grow quietly and then suddenly, over time, they produce deep, real, permanent change. Also, celebrate these small wins. Most people ignore them. They stay fixed on what is still undone and beat themselves up for what they have not yet achieved. But when you acknowledge your small victories, you feed the behavior. You generate momentum. You remind yourself that you are actually moving forward. And that reminder is fuel. Picture your life 1 month from today if you committed to one small action every single day. Now picture it 6 months out, a year out. The trajectory changes completely. Not because you worked harder than everyone else, but because you showed up when others did not. Day after day, win after win. Start small. Start now. And whatever you do, do not break the chain. Habit 3, guard your focus. Like your life depends on it, let's be direct. Focus is one of the most powerful forces available to a human being. And right now, it is under constant attack. Every device you own, every platform you visit, every notification that buzzes, all of it is designed with one goal in mind: to pull your attention away from what actually matters and hold it for as long as possible. You feel productive, but at the end of the day, you have not moved forward. That is the trap. Busyness without direction, activity without progress, the illusion of doing while actually drifting. Here is the hard truth. If you do not take ownership of your focus, the world will take it from you. Your attention is not just valuable, it is the raw material of your future. Every hour you give to things that do not matter is an hour taken from the life you are trying to build. Think about how different your results would be if you had just 2 hours of deep, uninterrupted work every single day. 2 hours where your mind was locked in and then your environment was cleared of distraction. In 1 month, that is 60 hours of concentrated effort. In 1 year, it is over 700. Not more time in a day, just better use of the time already there. Cal Newport built his entire career on this idea. The author of Deep Work chose to live differently from most. He does not scroll. He does not react to every message. He carves out blocks of deep, focused time daily and uses them to create work that actually moves his life forward. The result was not just best-selling books. It was a reputation built on the quality of thinking that only deep focus can produce. You do not have to disappear from the world to protect your focus. But you do have to set limits. Distractions do not only come from screens. They come from mental clutter. other people's urgencies, the habit of jumping between tasks without finishing any of them. The question is not whether you are distracted. The question is, what are you willing to do about it? Start with one focus block each day. Even 30 minutes. No notifications, no open tabs, no phone nearby. One task that matters. Full attention on that one thing. This is not about being unavailable. It is about being responsible with your most limited resource. Here is a challenge worth trying. For one day, track exactly how you spend each hour. Write it down. Most people are shocked by what they find. Time that felt productive was actually time that dissolved into distraction. But once you see the pattern clearly, you can begin to change it. Your focus is your edge. In a world addicted to noise, the person who can sit still and think deeply and work without interruption will always produce more, create more, and achieve more. Focus does not happen by accident. It must be designed. Set up your environment to support it. Remove what pulls you off course. Practice returning your attention when it drifts because of will. That is not failure. That is training. Over time, something powerful shifts. You are no longer reacting to everything around you. You are choosing where your energy goes. And when you control that, you control your outcomes. Protect your focus. Build it like a muscle. Because in the life you want to build, it is one of the most important tools you have. Habit 4. Your body is the foundation. Treat it that way. Let's talk about something people tend to push to the bottom of the list until it is almost too late. Your health is not a bonus feature. It is not something you earn time for after everything else is done. It is the base layer, the foundation underneath every goal, every plan, every ambition you carry. You can have the clearest vision in the world. You can have the right mindset and the right goals and the right habits. But if your body is depleted, none of it moves. When your energy is gone, your thinking suffers. When your thinking suffers, your decisions suffer. And poor decisions compound quietly until the life you wanted feels further away than ever. People say they do not have time to move their body or eat well. But think about what it costs when you do not. How much time do you lose to exhaustion? How many days do you operate at half capacity because you are running on poor sleep and bad food? How many goals get postponed because your body cannot keep pace with your ambition? Arianna Huffington learned this at a brutal cost. At the height of building her company, she collapsed from exhaustion and sleep deprivation. That moment forced her to reconsider everything she thought she knew about success. She came out the other side with one clear message. No achievement is worth destroying the body that carries you there. You do not have to hit rock bottom to learn this lesson. You can choose it today. Your body is the machine behind everything you do. And like any machine, it needs regular care. Not occasionally, but daily. Your creativity, your patience, your discipline, your emotional resilience, all of it flows from your physical state. When you feel strong in your body, your mind follows. Challenges feel smaller. Goals feel reachable. The hard thing in front of you becomes something you can actually face. You do not need a gym membership or a perfect diet to start. You need the basics. Walk 20 minutes a day. Do bodyweight movements at home, push-ups, squats, whatever you can manage. Drink more water. Sleep 7 to 8 hours. Cut back on food that leaves you feeling worse. That is it. Start there. If you spend most of your day seated or stationary, this matters even more. The human body was never built to stay still for hours at a stretch. Movement resets the mind. It clears the fog. It releases stress that has been sitting in your muscles all day. When you move your body, you think more clearly. You feel more capable. You make better choices. And there is something deeper here too. When you choose to take care of your own body, you are sending yourself a message. You are saying, I matter enough to show up for. That belief bleeds into everything else. You raise your standards. You show up better in your work, your relationships, your goals. Because a person who respects their own body begins to respect their own time, their own word, their own life. Your health is not an expense. It is an investment with compounding returns. Every step you take, every night you sleep well, every meal you choose wisely, those are deposits. They add up, and they pay back in energy, in clarity, in the ability to keep going when others stop. One action step. Pick one health habit, just one. A time in your day dedicated to movement. Make it fixed. Make it daily. Make it something you protect. Then build from there. Because no dream is worth chasing if you are too depleted to reach it. You get one body, one life inside it. Give it what it needs, and it will give you everything back. Habit 5. Track your small wins and watch your confidence grow. If there is one quiet force that shapes long-term success more than almost anything else, it is this. the way you measure your own progress. Most people only recognize the big milestones, the promotion, the finish line, the moment everything clicks into place. And while those moments are worth honoring, they are not what keeps you going between them. What actually fuels lasting growth is something much smaller. It is the wins that nobody sees, the ones that feel almost too minor to mention. But those are the ones that matter most. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you construct. You build it by doing what you said you would do, especially when it costs you something. Every time you follow through on a commitment, even a tiny one, you send yourself a signal. You tell yourself that your word means something, that you are someone who shows up. And that signal accumulates over time into something powerful, into belief. Benjamin Franklin understood this long before modern psychology gave it a name. Before journals and digital trackers existed, he designed his own system of personal accountability. He chose 13 qualities he wanted to cultivate. Each day he recorded whether he had lived up to them. Each week he reviewed his progress and adjusted. That system, tracking, reflecting, improving, helped shape one of the most remarkable minds in human history. What he grasped was simple. What you measure, you improve. What you ignore, you lose. When you stop tracking your progress, something subtle happens. You lose sight of how far you have actually come. You feel stuck even when you are growing. You begin to undervalue your own effort, and that erosion drains your motivation. But when you can see your wins, recorded, visible, real, you feel something shift. You feel momentum, and momentum creates belief, and belief creates action. Here is how to start. Keep a habit tracker. It does not need to be complicated. A notebook, a simple app, a notepad by your bed. Each day, write down one thing you did well. Maybe you drank enough water. Maybe you chose focus over distraction. Maybe you pushed through something you did not feel like doing. That is a real win. Write it down. Over weeks, these entries become a record, a story of someone who kept showing up. And when you read that story back, your self-image begins to shift. You stop saying, "I never follow through." You start saying, "I am the kind of person who follows through." That shift in how you see yourself changes everything about how you act. This works in every part of life. Trying to be smarter with money? Note every time you choose discipline over impulse. Building your fitness? Log every session, no matter how brief. Growing your mind? Record every book finished, every difficult conversation navigated, every moment you chose growth over comfort. The win does not have to be large. It just has to be honest. And here is something most people do not realize until they try it. Tracking small wins builds a kind of resilience that nothing else can. Because there will be hard days. Days when nothing feels like it is working. Days when the goal feels far and the effort feels thankless. But if you have been tracking, you have evidence. You can look back and see the real story. And the real story is that you have been showing up. You are further along than you were. You have not quit. And that is worth something. There is also a quiet satisfaction in ending each day with a win recorded. You did not just let the day pass. You used it. You made a mark. That feeling, small as it is where fulfillment begins to take root. Not at the finish line, but in the process of showing up every single day. You do not need permission to feel proud of yourself. You do not need a big win to feel like you are moving forward. You just need to commit to the daily process and keep an honest record of it. Day by day, you will grow sharper, more self-assured, more certain that you are becoming the person you set out to be. The world will not always applaud your quiet discipline. It will not clap when you wake up early or choose the harder path or say no to what feels good, so you can say yes to what actually matters. That recognition must come from you. Tracking gives you that. It makes you your own coach, your own source of momentum, your own proof that this is working. So here is your challenge for the next 7 days. At the end of each day, record one win. Just one. On day 7, read them all back. You will be surprised by what you find. You will feel it, that quiet, unshakable sense that you're genuinely different from the person who started the week. Because success is not built in huge leaps forward. It is built in small, invisible steps. And quiet victories that no one else sees, but that you keep choosing anyway. Track them, honor them, stack them. And one day soon, you will look up and realize, without fully knowing when it happened, that you have become someone who cannot be stopped. If you have made it this far, there is something in you that does not just want to listen, it wants to live differently. Maybe for the first time in a long time, you are starting to feel that change is not some distant dream. It is within your reach. And it begins with small, powerful steps. Let's recap. First, choose one habit that truly matters. You do not need to change everything at once. Pick one thing and hold on to it. Second, prioritize small, consistent daily actions. Life does not change through one big effort. It changes through daily commitment, especially when no one is watching. Third, protect your focus. Your attention is your most valuable asset. What you give your focus to becomes your life. Fourth, put your health first. Your body is the vehicle that carries you toward every goal. If it breaks down, the journey stops. Fifth, track your small wins. Build your belief in yourself, because what gets measured gets improved.